Zobaczycie chociaż chwilę tego. Mam nadzieję, że będzie ok. Bez kamerki, bo z telefonu. Z pierwszego dnia może zobaczycie tyle, ile się da, z drugiego może będzie całość.
It's a 1v3. Guess where he is? C long. It's the third time this game, but he's not winning it this time around. Scream is a lunatic, man. Can you imagine playing against Scream and Yampy at the same time? Yampy's just sprayed them through a smoke, and then Scream dashed onto site, taking 2 kills in an instant. What do you do?
Yeah, I feel like every time I think I know who's going to be winning the round, it just completely goes in the other direction. Like, this is just madness. Like, the risk that he's able to take on this agent, like, we sort of expected him in the past to be that second man, and it was Younger to take the risk and him to be the one following up. It almost seems that they've just put him into that pure entry fragger role, which I'm never going to doubt Scream to be able to do that. Impressive stuff to take that site back from the clutches of a team that had everything to play with. And he's not stopping. He's going pushing. He's trying to bait Akuma into the peak. He's got a decent idea. And of course, Scream is not going to lose that battle.
No, he's not. On that push as well, he had the paranoia, the flashes coming in, the blind up. I love that the way that... Ooh, Yampy a little bit too close to that one, buddy. But Hoppy's in trouble. Flash. Oh, there's the ultimate. Okay, they need to defend him, though. More players got to siphon over towards middle. Tak is already down. Hoppy's ult cancelled. They're going to push on him, and they've taken him down. That's the judge on Yampy getting heavy damage done and leaving Logan all alone. Oh, they are coming for him, hunting him down in the final round. I don't think I've ever seen as many players facing at once.
Yeah, well, he definitely can't isolate any duels, that's for sure. They're all facing him at once. Solid round again. I'm liking the aggression from Scream on this map. And more importantly, I'm liking the fact that it isn't just Scream. Like, we've even seen it in some of the previous maps, for example, when we were looking at Split, where we had Akuma, like, taking very risky peaks. This is very different. Like, this is a full setup that they have to dominate Ceylon, get themselves the orbs as well, and more importantly, they've been getting openers in a multitude of different rounds. Now, it's definitely not the prettiest of halves for Team Liquid, but if I've learned anything today, they can always bring it back.
Yeah, you know what? At 7-5, I don't think I'll count them out, considering the 10-2 return. The prediction over on Twitter was that they were going to make a 12-0 comeback this time around. Ooh, it's a nut. You love when you hit those, man. Just strafe peek out on mid right at the start of the round, and he's dead. And it was very quiet popping because it's silenced. If it was a classic, it'd be more like, you know what I mean? More of a click. Do a frenzy for me, Tone.
Absolutely not. There is Valorant on right now. I'm not a soundboard. You've got one of those already. I know. I've heard enough things from it. But here we go. Looking like the execution about to be coming in. Liquid have got themselves that opener. Rodin trying to lurk within the smoke. He's dropped the spike, but he needs to do so much more. He'll take a second for his troubles, but it's left to Akuma. 1 versus 3. At least one player low, but he's being guarded by the headshot machine himself. A bodyguard many would want to have, but he's actually managed to sneak his way past. He doesn't know Scream's this close, though. Absolutely no clue as to how the timing worked out in such a manner. The Liquid have got their 6th, and it's game on.
What a timing on that push. The fact that he manages to get all the way up on site and nearly walk away with a bunch more. Look at this. 1 for Rodin, ends up grabbing himself another, but it's his teammate just sneaking out. Akuma able to just rat his way onto site. You had Rodin and Rodent, but didn't work in the end. 7-6, Team Liquid with that pistol round under their belt there, looking good to tie this one up and make it a nice 7-7.
Sekundę, zaraz
I'm curious
przywrócę
actually on their
ekran.
strat in this round, because for BDS, they're playing majority classics, so usually you'll see teams group up and try to take the fights together. I think especially on a molten map like this. But Akuma just, what, like, what was that, man? And he wins it as well.
Are you able to just say that Tom will not be given a free Lamborghini? Because honestly, at this point, like, I just feel like whatever you say, the opposite happens. And I would love to get some free stuff. So, if you wouldn't mind.
Tom's gonna win the lottery. There you go. I got you.
Oh.
I mean, I've already predicted Ricks for them. You know, I gave them the caster's curse. They still managed to knock Alliance out. So what can I do?
Yeah, but they might have already lost. So it might have just come a little bit later on in the day. It's going to be the push through from Cryptics, at least evening things up a little bit. They've got a few low players, and with Soulcast being the first to drop, it's a problem for the heals. Hoppy has already found another. I think that was another individual duel as well with Classics, Mitch, just to point that one out.
One down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't it be? There's another one for Logan. At least he had a teammate with him this time around. Going out, he's managed to pick up a Spectre with 9 bullets and 2 opponents. Those are not favorable odds. 7-7 we go. The upside here is that a lot of damage has been done. You're going to get sick of us saying that, but when you come into a round like that, you've got Classics and a Sheriff, and you manage to get 3 kills. That is a big win.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, we'll see if they can turn it into something in these next rounds, because if I've learned anything, that even with some of the weaker weapons, Liquid can definitely make it work. Also, Link being the one on the Spectre as well, we know that a lot of the time he's going to be using that utility to try and put players like Scream into position. And with him still on a Vandal, they have to be a little bit careful. Maybe not. Rodent, he's actually just going to go pushing all the way through. A bit of a spam coming, but it's Scream. The instant headshot to shut him down. Something that was a real problem for them on Split was just how much ground was being taken away from them by BDS and their aggressive plays. This time, it's a shutout.
Attacker's had that wall primed and ready. It's going to buy him a higher position up on top of the box. Okay. Obviously, with a broken open, the idea here is that Team Liquid will hope that they're now a little bit more conscious of a short push. But Takas is going to peek out. He's going to see nobody's here. And on that, the rotation's already underway. Akuma making his way towards the B site. And maybe further on towards C. This could shift everything towards this site, which is already stacked up on utility. Not just from Astra of Akuma, but also from Logan on the Killjoy. Liquid are about to run into it, but it's not as stacked up as it could be. Nanoswarm's active. It's not the biggest of deals. This is stop a jet dash on site. It's only going to last a second. Then we get your shadow step across. That'll get destroyed in a moment. Easy plant. There's not really much you can do about it. Spamming through the smoke stone well for Hoppy at the start, but well, that's a thorn in the side.
The 180
Zacnie,
from
może moja drużyna wygra.
Again, he's been having a worldie of a day, and this is looking like Liquid are about to take the lead in their bonus round. Bear in mind, I think they kicked this one off with just 1 rifle in play. They've now upgraded to have an extra 3 from what they started with, retrieving every single one along the way. And now Logan and Takas have no choice. They've just got to try and hold on to their weaponry. Liquid are going to take themselves the lead again after a slow start into the map. And now it looks like Liquid are not going to let them get away with these weapons. They're looking to battle, already pushing into heaven. You can see Link is ready and waiting, only going to throw away the SMG, but he's given his teammates info about where these last couple of players are. Is there going to be a wallbang? Anything attempted? Oh, it's close, but Logan will survive.
Dangerously close. Liquid take the lead now, 8-7. They're sitting comfortably up there. And money credits starting to roll. And you know, for BDS, we said that it's a really tough mental position to be in, and it definitely is. But the good thing to look at is that their defensive half hasn't really started yet. At this stage, you know, they've managed to get basically one round that you're going to be upset about. Other than that, it's He can
Okay.
shrug it off, that's for sure. And Takas right off the bat, there's Yampy gone. You're going to get walled up again for that little bit of short control. Now they're only worried about long, where there's...
What?
Takas just died to that?
Okay, I know
He
I
was
said
full
that
HP.
Link is good with those aftershocks, but I have absolutely no idea how he's just died to that. That makes little
was
to
full
no
HP.
sense. I don't know. And the worst thing is you have to sit in the 3 blasts.
How, man? How did he die to that? I don't get it. I don't understand. Oh, but this is nice. What a good spot from Logan coming down. Hoppy from afar with the sheriff is deadly. And it's left to Scream. He knows where both of these players are at this stage, but 64 HP. Oh, well, look at this. At least he's got some luck on his side. They're gambling on A. He's about to plant on C side.
The problem is he doesn't have, obviously, all the information that we do with the positions that they're currently holding.
30
Slowly going to
seconds
clear
left.
out the site. Now, if he can get himself a more aggressive plant, maybe that gives him a chance, but the time that's being wasted is only going to give more over to BDS to make that realization. In fact, he's really trying to spot out where these remaining players are. Instead, no one's going to give him that 1v1 duel, and he's going to have to just run back and get the spike down, and with nothing being heard on the other side of the map, I'm sure eventually BDS are going to make that realization. Now, Screen, again, needs to try and isolate one of these duels, but he has no idea where they're coming from.
They also have a recon dart at this point, and that's where Roden just gets a hell of a lot of information. In Scream's position, it's quite likely that he gets revealed. They haven't shot it. They're creeping onto site, completely blind. Okay, well, at least if they stick together, they can win this. They go for individual duels, and, well, I would say that was a good attempt to throw the round away by BDS, but they get it in the end. 8 on the board now.
Yeah, the tough thing for Scream in that situation is, as you like,
Wygnali.
I get what you mean. Like, it was very risky for them to just walk onto the site, but he had absolutely no idea. Like, they could have come from anywhere. They used the recon, and sure, it gives up that little bit of extra data. Probably does tell them where he is as well, which in a 2v1, you'd still expect them to win, but for Scream, unfortunately, just not holding the right angle, and this time it will slip away from them. A big victory again. I really liked the sort of tiered defense in mid of like one falls, there's still another couple a little bit further back, a solid hold, and of course, a weak buy victory for BDS, putting them right back in the running.
Surely Breach's hand can turn into like a fork and stuff as well, right?
Why is that?
Like,
what
you
you're
wouldn't
thinking
just
about?
program it.
Hungry Mitch?
No, I just
Could it turn
I
into
just
a
saw it.
burger?
I just saw the fault line and thought, I wonder if this, like, you wouldn't just program it to transform one way. It'd be like a fork. It'd be, I don't know, like a
mouse?
screwdriver. Like, it'd be everything, you know?
Okay, well, Mitch Man is hungry, for anybody wondering. In the meantime, Liquid might actually have themselves a free A site. It's a big gamble on the other side of the map, maybe a potential retake being attempted. Now, as we mentioned on Split, BDS, they're solid in their retakes, but this A site can be relatively difficult. Now, we're going to see, actually, the ultimate thrown in, the Rolling Thunder, which, sure, it will clear out the site, but there's absolutely no one here to clear out in the first place. Scream! Just jumped straight into the arms of Roden, who's trying to do as much damage as he can with the shock darts, but if anything, Mitch, he's already done enough. He's given them an advantage as they go into the retake.
Hey, not only could he have got that kill if the knives were on point, there's a chance he catches them with shock dart out. Hunter's Fury catches a kill, or a damage rather, a connection straight away. Hoppy not able to get anything done in the ultimate, but Akuma dives on down and is good for 2 as always. You can rely on Akuma to get it done. Yampy's got a 1v3 on his hands, and it's not going to be easy. That wall remains up so they can get it to halfway. They're pushing through though. The opportunities are there, but not connected on. The defuse signals BDS retaking the lead 9-8. The close series, the ping pong of rounds and leads continues on into the late stages, and this is going to be defined by a very small margin in the end. Remember, the loser of this match is out of VCT for this leg, which is pretty huge. They'll have to wait a couple weeks before being able to have another chance in this stage. And that is certainly not where anyone wants to be. Plus, they probably have to play in with KO, which is a completely different meta at that point.
It's a terrifying prospect, that's for sure. We've seen so many new teams that have looked incredibly solid, and of course the old boys with the new tricks. It's a narrow escape for Yumpy. Oh dear lord, he's just about gonna hold on to that one. Kuma lurking in the smokes. I would say the hero of the last round. We had ultimates thrown in, and it was him just jumping through from heaven, actually getting kills onto the site. He's going to be lurking within this smoke. That jet cloudburst is going to fade fairly quickly, but actually Cryptix has picked him off anyway. Liquid have found 2 openers into this B site, and it's looking very good, other than Cryptix kind of cooking in the corner.
Oh, that wasn't nice for Hoppy.
No,
Running in to try and be the difference maker, but in the end, he doesn't get it done either.
Wtedy wyrównają.
Himself a kill. He's going to move to backside. Has the res, but well, actually there is a res that he could go for over towards the A side, but Yampy's even flanking that out. Solka's behind them on that side.
Brawo.
And dude, there was no way they got away with that. That was so well played by Team Liquid. They have a flanker on A, a flanker in Garage, and 2 guys holding the fort on the B side. Well, you can't do anything about that. You'd have to look in every direction all the time.
I actually think that from a lot of the rounds I've been seeing recently, including in the game versus Fnatic on Haven, Liquid's B-site execution, even if it's with pistols, has looked incredibly strong. And so it's a site that we talk about regularly, about how incredible the retakes have been, or how easy in a lot of cases they've been. But I've stopped seeing that so much. I think a lot of teams have started to utilize those flanks so well that people are really starting to struggle to actually hold on to these B-sites in retake rounds. And by the looks of it, we're seeing some utility just being placed early by BDS to try and stop this exact fact, because that was too easy for Liquid. So of course they're going to try it again.
Naturally. Yeah, the thing about this side is you can't play it the way you do any other side in pretty much any game or any map, here at least. Holding it down directly isn't always easy or possible. Rodin doing a good job of it to start, but look who snuck all the way through. Scream now in their spawn practically, and Takas has his knife out, getting caught completely unaware. Scream keeps it going for another, and that is it. They've got the A side. They can walk right on. It's free real estate. Leaving. Scream is still lurking around here. They're about to come out and still unaware. He's practically on the same spot. Another dash online, but he repeats the angle for 4. That's disgusting. A display of confidence that we love to see from Scream, and a lead to Liquid because of it. 10-9 now.
See, it's funny watching this Liquid composition versus the one that they were running before. Like, we almost called it the, like, delaying comp. It was no duelists. They were sat back. They were using all this utility to basically make teams run out of time. You had Link, for example, just basically using smokes to constantly just slow people down again and again. I want to call this the Scream comp. Like, man is just running around, opening up, and just destroying anyone that comes into his path. That's 2 rounds in a row now. He's just walked into B and basically won his teammates around. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I said Rodin was doing a good job on the site, and he was, but that small gap seized by Scream instantly. The confidence of him just to walk straight on in. Doesn't give a damn. But that's what you get. Years and years of competitive FPS training for this. He knows exactly how to read these situations, how to see the gaps, and again we're seeing it. He's inside of Garage, holding down below. The rest of the team presumably set to pressure another part of the map and open up the space for Scream to make a huge play. They're actually going to drone it out. Look at how paranoid they are at this stage.
Hejo, Śnieżna.
Be spotted, looking to fall back.
Witam ja ciebie.
We'll get there.
Clock running a little bit low though. 40 seconds for them to
Na streamie,
make
który jest, to miało go nie być.
Down fairly early, but BDS this time though it's Yumpy. That 1-2 punch.
Powiedz mi, jaki jest wygląd streama tam u ciebie?
A man running through his own teammates' utility. Takas is only going to be able to get 1, and the remaining 2 players probably left in shock and awe at the audacity of Scream to make those sort of plays, leaving Rodin already making a move back in. The first goes his way, and Hoppy has a 1v2 to win.
It's doable. Both players down on long. He needs to bait them into a fight, and he's got that wall to work with. But that camera, they're going to fire it in randomly if it connects. This round is over for Hoppy. He's got it halfway already, coming off it now. Worried of the sprays, knowing he can get a fight, and that he does. The molly perfectly positioned. It's on to Cryptics. He goes out wide, and Hoppy gets him. That's the round for BDS. They are not going anywhere just yet.
How have they won that? How's he managed to do that? That ended up as, I think it was even a 1v3 because he had to get the trade kills as well. That's ridiculous. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is a Liquid pause. Surely after that. That's got to be infuriating. I thought for a second he was just going to stick it all the way, but just managing to bait them into the peak, soulcast the freebie, and then still having the hot hands at the end. I'm not even sure if it quite reached the Cryptics. Like, the back looked like he might have been clear, but he can't just sit behind it.
To dobrze grał.
The fuse might have come through. Liquid looks so good to take that round, and now they're back at 10-10. It's still anyone's game.
Absolutely ridiculous scenes, Tom. That particular clutch, you know, you could see that he had the utility for it, but there was zero room for error. Every single decision had to be perfect, and oh boy, it was. At 10-10, despite a significant lead in that round for sure, Liquid are in a spot where they're tied on up. Their money is pretty good. I heard that countdown sound. You know, it's for the end of, it does it for the end of a timeout.
It was like they were
for the end of the thing.
9,000.
Yeah, I thought Scream had 9k and was going to use Blade Storm and a pistol and a classic, I should say. I was about to lose my mind, but that makes a little bit more sense.
I'm still surprised he hasn't just gone for something a little bit extra, but I guess just trying to be the bank for the team, relying on the Blade Storm, and you know what?
For the next round,
we've seen what this man can do with it, and he's still going to give Yumpy over an AWP as well, which we know can do so much work. Hakas waiting patiently, a risk maybe not worth taking, and Hoppy setting up. Now you have to bear in mind that the economy is still on the brink for the other side as well. Like, BDS are not rolling in the cash. They've even had to drop down to a Guardian for this round, and in fact some players are left without any shields at all. So this is crunch time. The winner of this, well, more so if the winner is Liquid, BDS are in real trouble.
Scout destroyed.
Liquid Scream on his way up close. Player already giving away his position, but the right click misses. Now he's in trouble. He's stuck on the site with a Sheriff, and oh my god, the Guardian. Takis is able to take himself a double. Scream at least answers back, grabs a Vandal, and it's a 2v3. But that ultimate, a lockdown causing problems. Roden on the flank, the weapon comes out for Scream. They hurt each other, and the fight goes Roden's way. The teleport to the A site leaves Yampi with an opportunity, the potential to win this one out, but it is nonetheless a 1 versus 3. The spike planted, not quite for him. He's going to TP up, hoping someone was close enough to hear it. In fact, loses a bit of HP on the way down, but with an operator, I mean, not only do I not think that's going to have the biggest impact, I don't think he can win this. He has to. Oh, that's so smart. He takes the first. Hoppy can't even get that halfway diffused. He's pushing, but the ultimate's going to dissipate before he gets even close. Yampi now ready to fight on the site. That wall about to fall, and here it goes, holding up close. But a good peek by Logan, waiting for Hoppy to get up there. That was definitely providing the potential for a big mistake, but in the end they get it with 5 seconds to spare. BDS in the lead 11-10, but it seems like teams are having a hard time holding on to that lead here on Haven.
Oh yeah, this has been one of the most back and forth maps I think I've ever seen in Valorant. Like, predicting the victor at this point is at the flip of a coin, and realistically there's still going to be enough money for Liquid to at least get a decent purchase. I don't think it's going to be perfect, unless there's something dropped on the floor that I've missed. Maybe Yumpy going to be left with, I was going to say a Marshal, but you know what? He's gone for a Judge. So maybe we can expect something a little bit more risky from the man on the Omen.
There's a lot on the line for Liquid in this one. Oh, Roden. Very early. Very, we talked about it earlier, Tom. You don't typically use that Hunter's Fury at the start of the round, but Roden does. Doesn't garner them much information, at least manages to spot out and tag a player, but Scream's on the site and the plan's coming in. In terms of retake, BDS don't have a lot. Like, they're going to be going in for shock darts here, but that's completely under control over on the Liquid side. They plant over at Angel instead, and now they've got this on lock, right? There's a res, there's a cosmic divide, but the impact of those, it's not often massive.
Oh, I
Rolling Thunder, on the other hand.
Counter ultimate. And it gives
Oh,
Jumpy
no.
a chance, but Takas, well, he's got the one-tap weapon and has to hit the headshot, but that's exactly what he does. It's still time wasted. The fault line is flawless, but they still seem to be just hitting the heads every single step of the way. Scream, he tries his best, but it isn't going to be enough. Logan will take them to 12 rounds on the board. And you know what? They are scraping their way through. I honestly thought that play from Jumpy was
Miałem
going to be the
nadzieję, że
decider.
się uda.
Match point.
Oh, it was. It was 100%. They were seconds away from winning that round. Only the Takas hit that shot. If he doesn't get that kill, it's GG right away. Incredible stuff. It really and truly is. And the way they answer this one back to the Rolling Thunder, look at Takas instantly thinks something's going on here. Why would they Rolling Thunder that and not push in through spawn? There must be a flanker. Goes back, checks it, gets it. And Cryptics killed Takas while full stun. He got the first kill, turned to his right, and then sprayed down the other player. I think connecting a first bullet headshot as well.
I think they know Yumpy's here. Something tells me he's just going to swing out the molly, forcing him from the spot. That's a great early start from BDS. They are looking to close this one now. A third map potentially on the cards. They could have even 2-0'd this. The last map, you have to remember, this was 10-2 in their favor. We questioned if mentally they would have checked out. They came into this map looking strong. And now it's up to Liquid to tear it from them in overtime once again.
No zobaczymy jak im to pójdzie. Mam nadzieję, że
That
dobrze.
operator knows there's a player on long. That's the freest kill of his life. Even going in for the recon, the shock dart.
Oh, hello.
Oh, but up above, Scream comes in, punishes that peak. Now you've given Scream an operator. Things get very dangerous indeed. He's waiting for the cage to fade away, and he'll look for a kill. Already spotted Akuma, but they're ready for him now. The res is going to come in. And can't quite play with the op anymore. It's been stolen away, so Rodin forced to downgrade, but probably just happy to be alive. The rest of his team would be, but Scream keeps on connecting. Solkus on the trade, Cryptics with more, and it looks like they've done it. Takas has to have a huge round, and it just won't happen. Not this time around. 12-11. One more for Liquid to take us to another overtime.
Earlier in the day, I caught myself questioning Scream being back on that jet. Now I'm questioning whether you should be using the operator more, because this was some pretty crispy shots. Double kills, they rotate back into the site. Again, being the decider in that round. The updraft that he pulls in to give them one back from heaven. Even with the res invested into that round, BDS don't manage to close it out. Not what I expected, to say the least. And now look at the money. Both teams having their issues, but it's definitely worse for BDS.
Yeah, with Liquid having that Blade Storm and Scream hitting shots the way he is, I would be pretty scared if I was BDS. You take a look at the weaponry in play, and it's 2 Spectres along with Guardians, but I don't quite want to count out the Guardians just yet. On that A flank and the C holds, they have been so important. Yampy in trouble, peeked up close. He got around the corner, and Link found the second. Here comes Scream for more, and this is looking pretty convincingly like we're hitting an overtime. Scream trying to style on them. That puts it into a 2-man advantage. Liquid are definitely ahead in this one, but it is losable, Tom. They have to be cautious to hold on to it.
Yeah, we've seen spots like this before, and these spots seem to be where BDS thrive, but this time it's left to one man. Takas, the 1v4 turn 3. All 3 players waiting, nothing to section them off either. He can try and heal himself midway through the battle, while there is no chance. At least hits himself a solitary kill. But it will be 12-12, and I am so scared for BDS that this is going to get ripped out of their hands again.
Look at Scream. 29 right? And 15. He's an all right player. I think I've never heard of this guy before, but he seems decent. I actually noticed just in this game, first game obviously I've seen him, is one taps. They seem to be actually pretty all right. He doesn't need to spray that much. So
some would
it's nice.
say he's a machine when it comes to the headshots.
Yeah, you could say that, Tom, actually. You know, I've heard like a lot of people talk
phrase.
about them, but you might. I think it might catch on, Tom. I think it might. But hey, 12-12. Enough messing about. There's an Odin in play. Yampy has pulled out the Odin for the garage hold. That I'm curious about. Oh, that's damage right off the bat.
He's caught a little bit. Back in return. It looks like the plan from BDS is to go for a similar play to what we saw success from for Liquid.
Oh my God.
Okay, that happened. Oh, the freebie kill coming through for Yumpy. Maybe this is his weapon of choice. We know he loves a niche gun, and this time he's going to be punished for it. Soulcast looking to wrap, but again, they know that Logan likes to hold towards the back. The problem is, can they clear him out this time? Because that's been something they've struggled with so far. Almost caught with utility, but Soulcast will live to tell the tale.
Does he check close left here? Oh, Link does. He's so ready for it. Oh, Soulcast, come on, man. He's just too good. Logan now on 30 HP has got it all to do. The Aftershock almost took him down. And this mid-swing, they're spraying before he even comes around the corner. 13-12. BDS again faced with the opportunity to close out a map, brought to overtime and pushed to the limit. If they lose this round, this will be one of the most heartbreaking series for them. They've had the opportunity to win both of these maps, and they will go out of this leg of VCT. I cannot imagine a worse fate.
This would be the worst way to be eliminated ever. Because realistically, they were on map point on both maps. And they were convincingly in the lead at times. So if they lose now, I don't know. Someone's going to need a hug. And it might be me, because I don't know. This is starting to get to the point where even I'm feeling very guilty for them. But it's not done. They could still bring things back from the depths. It is going to be that B-take. I mentioned it before. This has been something hugely successful thus far, and this man is the core of it. Taking the site through. Hoppy wants to try and challenge for it. He's got his flash in hand, but Scream is just waiting patiently as his teammates look to try and rotate into position. They still have the flashes available, but they're hoping that someone makes some sort of mistake, and they are going to fight for it. And Takaz, through the wood, gets rid of the danger man in the form of Scream.
No charges.
That is such a valuable kill to have. Not only is he obviously the top fragger, but he's the player that's been getting so much space and harassing any sort of map control out of the hands of BDS on this attack side. That man advantage, it might not last long. Soulcast quickly traded, though, to leave BDS in the lead. 3 players primed to just push out from the C side of things. Cryptix has to be huge here, and only the one for him. Link left on 10 HP. He's going to be flashed, but makes it around the corner. Yampy's flank hasn't been detected, and as check it, he's going to be sideswiped as well. It's all down to Link on this one, and with 10 HP, he has to be so careful. Rodin baits it out, and the shot from Link confirms it. BDS are out of Challengers 1 with an absolutely unbelievable play from Team Liquid to make the comeback on map 1 and finish here 14-12. What an incredible series we've just witnessed.
I don't know if it was the same for you, but Link's cam was slow motion there, and that might be the most badass way to sort of like get up out of his chair. Just like just coming up, that was so sick. And this man, again, like, I want to talk about how impactful he is in those sort of clutch situations. What a sick way to end the series. Liquid, they go marching on, but you have to sit there and just go, it feels so bad for BDS, man. Like, I think that obviously you're going to have your player of the match soon, and I think that you could realistically put anyone on the BDS side up for it as well, because they were so good on both maps, they just couldn't close it.
Hey, we said it was going to be defined by a very small margin, and in the end, it definitely was. But we have to pick a standout player, a player of the match, and the options for you today are Link, Scream, and Soulcast. I don't think we could really argue with that. Scream top fragging, Link having some incredible rounds, and Soulcast, today has been his day. He got robbed of the player of the match in the last series they were in. A tough choice for you at home. Oh, did he?
I think he won the vote, even though they lost.
over to @Val Esports _EU to get your vote in for which one of these fantastic players you think deserves to take home player of the match. Frankly, I'd be happy with any of them because this was an incredible series. And as you said, Tom, congrats to BDS. Commiserations on the one hand, congrats on such a great series on the other. But in the end, 4 rounds in it, but Liquid take it across the line. Now it's time to throw things over to a break. And when we come back, the analyst desk will talk through all things of that series. An incredible one that it was. I'm sure they're going to have a field day.
Welcome back to the VCT Challengers main event where Liquid have just eliminated BDS in the lower bracket. I'm Yingsu and I'm now joined for an interview with Team Liquid. Soulcast, hi Soulcast. Welcome to the stream. Congratulations, you guys had a tough day today, but you made it through. Now, I want to kind of rewind back to the first series because the Fnatic series was super close. What do you feel like went wrong there in the end?
I feel like it was these little like mistakes or communication mistakes that we kind of like keep on happening and we need to fix up. They had really strong executes. I think we gave them a bit too much space again. That was our main weakness before, and it kind of crept up again. But we tried to combat it. You know, Fnatic is always a close game between us. You know, 11-13, and like there's just so many close games every time we're playing this Fnatic. You know, I love playing them. So, yeah.
And well, the split game against BDS as well didn't look great for you guys in the beginning, but you made an amazing comeback and pulled that off. Talk me through that.
So yeah, you know, you always have to have that mentality that you can do the same back, you know, on the opposite side. You know, we've had comebacks, or I've had comebacks on this map since the beta. You know, there was like a game where we was like 11-1 down and started CT side and we managed to win the game. You know, it's always possible on a map, especially like split. So we made sure our comms were still going, still flowing well. You know, we do want to like be down on ourselves. That's definitely where you just secure the loss if you're kind of just giving up already. So we tried to, you know, take each round by round basically, and yeah, we still managed to win the game.
I want to talk about your individual performance as well. You've been absolutely nuts today. And Mitch was joking about like, oh, I wonder how many deathmatch Doms has done in the off season before stage 3. Now, what are your opinions on Sky, and why do you think you seem to be kind of such a natural on this agent?
So I picked up Sky from the very start. You know, when she first came out, I played her and ranked a lot. Like I was like, oh, she's such a good agent in Haven especially. So I kind of just had I've got this good feeling with Sky because I've played with her so much, and now that they've basically done the biggest buff ever she could have ever had with this flash animation being non-existent now. When you pop your flash, it allows you to do so many plays. It's so easier to pop through, so much easier to pop through smokes, flash for your teammates like with them at the same time, and you can still have your gun out. I think that just makes Sky like such a great agent. I think she's definitely one of the best agents right now.
What do you think about the conversation we're having that, you know, you're one of the best Sky players in the world?
Yeah, I definitely think I'm up there. You know, I want to try definitely solidify myself. I've still got some weaknesses to improve on a Sky, but I definitely want to be the best in the world on Sky.
Oh, I love that. I think you're definitely on a great start. You're on your way there. Now, tomorrow you guys will play again in the lower bracket, and you're going to face either FPX or Ascend. Do you have a preference on one of these opponents, on who you'd rather face?
Probably FPX. I think they suit our playstyle a lot more. You know, I don't mind playing against both because I know Ascend are really strong. With CNED especially and Zeke, you know, they like to pop off. They like to kill everyone every round somehow. But yeah, honestly, I don't mind playing both. But I feel like we'd suit better against FPX.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Soulcast. Congrats, by the way, on the MVP for earlier, and we'll see you here tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Well, we are going to head to a quick break now, but do not go anywhere, guys, because when I come back, I'll be joined by Ryan and Kakuka on the desk. Welcome back once again to the Analyst Desk. I'm your host, Youngsu, and I'm joined by Ryan and Kakuka. Guys, welcome back too. You know, it was great to speak to Soulcast today. He was popping off, and it's even better, Ryan, to hear him say that in his mind, he's got that ambition to become the best Sky player in the world.
I think there is an argument that you could say that he is the best Sky player in the world already. There's not many that sort of have that much success overall, but it's just a way that it all pins together. Like, I think for the sort of player of the match, you can look at Scream with the fragging and stuff, but I think one of the early things that people said about Team Liquid is like it was Eccles following Scream around with the flashes setting him up. It's that, but more fluid, and everybody on Team Liquid plays. Like, it's a good job that they called Team Liquid because the play today was incredibly fluid, and it was a really good showing to also just win this game 2-0. Bit more confidence, not a 2-1, not a shaky performance where they drop the map. It was a good series, but it was good for Team Liquid to just win it out at the end.
Yeah, both of the maps that went into overtime, but specifically this Haven, we've seen, I'd say that the headline is mostly like Link and Soulcast, how they prepare the ground for the team, not only for the team, but also for themselves. Double flash, but with a huge impact. And we also saw Scream just being crazy, completely reckless with this jet. I would say just from round 1 or 2 with that aggression onto C-Long, we definitely saw great plays from him today.
I mean, Scream didn't play Jet for a while. He did in the beginning, sort of for this Liquid team, and then he kind of steered away with it when Yampy was put onto the Jet, and now he's back onto it. Kakuka, what do you make of Scream's Jet, given he hasn't had the longest time to kind of get used to it again?
I mean, I think it's beautiful the way he connects to the team and the synergy that's between them into preparing the ground and just creating that space. We even saw him with an operator today. I think he just took it off Jumpy. But it's also the connection of saying, okay, Jumpy, you're going to be on the Omen. You can still play that operator. We're just going to do it differently. He has actually 2 chances to escape. He doesn't have the dash. But put it in the right chokes, it works perfectly fine. And being Scream so explosive as he is, I think is a great deal for the team.
I think my favorite plays of the day was Yampy peeking in the gap of a aftershock on split with the operator.
Crazy, yeah.
But also the aftershock that was used from Link in Garage, sort of the nest part. And then as soon as it finishes, Scream just peeking out of it and killing the player in the back of C connector. It's just that kind of tightness in play that was really impressive with Team Liquid today. It just felt that they were firing on all cylinders up against the BDS team that have just as good, if not better, team utility overall. Like, the retakes from BDS were really good. It's unfortunate for them, but at least they automatically get into Challengers 2 as one of the 4 teams that won't be qualifying this time around. So there is hope. They don't have to go for the massive open qualifiers again, but man, that's got to sting.
I feel like that's a theme, right, when it comes to BDS and their journey all the way through back in the days before they had organizations, this 5 players that have stuck together this whole time. Ryan, it's just, we always find them in such kind of heartbreaking, harrowing situations.
Yeah, and it seems that Team Liquid is their bogey team. Overall, I'd say that BDS is a really good gatekeeping team, that whoever seems to beat BDS is considered not necessarily tier 1, but like the S tier. Like Team Liquid being able to do it to get to the EMEA finals before we've beaten BDS, and then obviously placing 4th in Reykjavik. It was the opening. It was that confidence that they needed to beat a good BDS team. There's a lot of others that could potentially overthrow them. So yeah, Team Liquid, they make it further, but they have tough opponents potentially tomorrow to actually qualify.
Yeah, and I hate comparisons, but I feel like BDS is kind of like FunPlus Phoenix. We always expect them to get really far, and then right before the end, they just drop out, and we miss a lot of them. But we definitely want to see more of them. BDS alone, Breaks are going to be the first 2 teams eliminated. Still, they have another chance to qualify, but they're only going to be 2 slots. Good luck for Team Liquid tomorrow, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think the slot difference is definitely something worth talking about, because the advantages of qualifying through this main event is that there's 4 slots, 4 teams go through. But if you're kind of leaving it a little bit later to qualifier 2 to main event 2, Ryan, that's going to get really dicey because there's only going to be 2 spots.
And more teams potentially that didn't make it this time that are going to be out for blood next time, like NIP, OG, even Heretics. I think a lot of people have written them off as potentially just being a bad team that wouldn't make it that far. I disagree. So BDS, they've at least booked their spot in the top 8 teams for Challengers 2, but there's going to be a lot of teams fighting for those other positions. And also, there's the likes of like Team Liquid, Guild, FPX, G2, some of those teams will not qualify based on how the games went today, right? So yeah, BDS, Ricks, they get a second chance, but so might FPX or Guild or Liquid if they don't win their games tomorrow. So it's going to be another stacked challenges too later on in the month as well.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of heartbreaking for the teams because it's just half the spots and twice the competition to get them. It was hard enough for them to get here and to prove what they've been working on this past 2 months that we've barely seen anything from them. Now they're putting it on the table. Some teams didn't make it through, but I think we had a lovely day today. Kind of, as I was saying, heartbreaking for BDS, you know, to just lose them when they could have won perfectly both maps.
Yeah, we had a jam-packed day of action. And, you know, speaking of action, we saw a lot of crazy plays from Scream. And no surprises here, guys. You put Scream in a poll on Twitter, and who knew that the fans voted him as player of the match. And I think over the day, he definitely progressively got better. And whenever Scream is player of the match, it almost feels stupid to say it's well deserved because Kakuka, like, it's Scream. Like, when is he ever not player of the match?
Exactly. When have we ever gotten into a Liquid map being like, oh my god, Scream is gonna be terrible. Nobody wants to look at Scream. What is he gonna do now? Now, obviously, we're always excited to see a player, but if I'm honest, I would have liked that MVP to go to Link because I feel like his role today was beautifully executed and he totally completely deserved it, not only for the aftershock skills but also the way he used all his utility, not only for himself but for the team. I think that's admirable.
Yeah, I just think overall, especially players like Cryptics, I think, and especially with how rough Scream started the day in that Fnatic game on Breeze, it was just a good way to actually bounce back because mentality, much like Guild, I think Team Liquid, when they do poorly, they have some theatrics of where they do really bad. Need I remind you, Soulcast versus Vanity at Reykjavik? It's those kind of moments where if it looks bad for Liquid,
stick up to our boys. Stick up for our boys.
I know, but they've done well to not completely implode on themselves when put under pressure from a good Fnatic team, which didn't end in Team Liquid falling off the radar. They held on until the end, but were just pipped at the post. And then, you know, a nice 2-0 up against BDS, being 10-2 down. That's a day afterwards where it could have gone a lot simpler if we got stuff to work on, but we kept our head up and we showed that we can bounce back and that we are a top team in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, our Masters to Iceland, two teams that win are still in contention in this main event. We've already spoke about BDS. You know, we had to say goodbye to them and Rick's GG for now. But let's look at the schedule and the rest of the bracket for tomorrow and the rest of this week as well, because we got some amazing and crazy matchups coming up with a lot on the line here. As you guys can see, Fnatic, Guild, FPX, and Ascend, they are in the upper bracket, which means tomorrow, Ryan, two of these teams will be guaranteed those spots to the EMEA playoffs.
Yeah, me and Zesh to cast them as well on the mainstream. So we've got a nice little day of work overall. I think that all of these top qualifying games are exceptional. And the fact that the loser has to play against Team Liquid and G2 in the lower bracket, it makes me really glad that we have the double elimination and that consistency to be able to get these teams in it, because it's nice to actually add a bit more context onto these results, you know? Like G2, they look really good, but maybe not as good as people were expecting. FPX has bounced back, but we can still see what G2 could do potentially against the loser of Fnatic and Guild. It really is a case of, okay, we're in good form, but are we the best team in Europe? Maybe people weren't expecting Fnatic and Liquid in Stage 2 to be the top two teams in Europe, or EMEA for that matter, but now we have a lot more competition and any of those 6 teams could go all the way.
Yeah, we're here for the show. Of course, we want to see as many matches as we can. Specifically, if we're seeing, you know, things that we haven't seen till now, we could have maybe another Fnatic against G2, but I would be kind of happy if it was Guild, because I just want to see how this thing, like how these teams intertwine and how they get to who's actually the best, because we've seen like Fnatic not being so strong on the buy in the game, but they may come over that. Still a lot to see from any of these teams, so keep the show going.
The absolute beauty of double elimination. Now, both of you are not going to be on the desk tomorrow, so I want to get a quick prediction from you guys to see who is more like Mitch and who is more like Kakuka at this point with the prediction results. So you guys, give me 2 teams, Fnatic versus Guild, FPX versus Ascend, that you feel like are going to be taking that EMEA playoff spot tomorrow. Kakuka, I'll come to you first.
Okay, I am gonna say Guild because I'm a Bonker fan and I know that Rain's gonna go for Fnatic, and I'm gonna say Ascend.
Ooh, lovely picks,
You're right.
Ryan.
I am going to say Fnatic. I like the fact that they've, in real time, been able to fix some of the issues that they've had, changing up compositions, where somebody like Team Liquid is like, this is what we're playing and this is what we're sticking to, you know? So Fnatic being able to adapt is a really good positive for them. FPX versus Ascend, it's hard to gauge because FPX looks so good today, but I think Ascend are the best team in Europe currently, so I'm going to jinx them, but I am going to say Ascend along with Kakuka.
We'll see for tomorrow. We'll see. But thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. And of course, thank you to the desk early as well. Harry, Lothar, Hypoc, Pansy, Midge, and Tom. Congratulations to all of the teams for making it through. Thank you to you guys at home for tuning in. We'll be back with more Challengers main event action tomorrow, starting with the upper bracket at 3 p.m. We'll see you then.
No. To dzisiejszy dzień się zakończył. Widzimy się jutro. Mam nadzieję, że na dłuższym streamie z całego drugiego dnia. Trzymajcie się i widzimy się jutro.
When I'm drinking this whiskey, I don't feel no pain. Fill another glass to help me get you out my brain. I don't want no numbers.